Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Mario is a fucking game that I am going to play. Me, Silas appeared. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ah 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 ah. Just slowly turning into Grover. No, a wild Silas appeared, and oh no, I dropped. Found it. I dropped the top of my water. It really sucked. On my way out of the fucking the store, one of my grocery bags split open, and one of these sorry, Johnny just texted me back, and he's like, I can, yeah, that's a decent goal. Fucking, let me see here. Like, and so, like, my bag split open, you know, take that out of context, and as a result, the Fiji water that I did legitimately buy, I mean, it's hard to steal water, you know, to be perfectly honest. There's a reason. There's a reason why they're starting to make them bulkier, if you catch my drift. You know, they aren't, you know, putting them in, I don't know, I think I'm making that up. I think I'm overthinking it, you know, because, you know, the only people who give a shit about water is fucking Nestle, who fucking will fucking fight illegal wars against Americans for that noise. And I'm like, that noise is bullshit. Killjoys, dirty boys, get the boys. Star Trek boys in the neighborhood. Star Trek boys in the hood, looking for the remix. I'm actually really nervous because I've got to go and play D&D tomorrow. Hasn't been a campaign of mine in some time, and I'm still getting over mine. Writer's block. Something. I'd like to reiterate my qualifications as a charismatic individual are not even in the same league as my writing. And for a while I had a bit of my writing saved up on YouTube, but I took it down. I'm just like, you know what? This got no traction. I'm just gonna pretend like it didn't happen so that nobody can fucking copy me. You bitches. I see you out there. I see you. God damn. God damn it. God dang it. Oh man. I'm okay, so the next item on my visual media list is going to be fucking Samurai Pizza Cats. Why? Because that's the only thing left in my personal collection that I have not seen extensively. I really hope that, you know, it's as bad as I hear it is. Apparently it's atrocious, but it is a decent anime. I'm gonna take a sip of my water because I need it. Hydrate bot. I need a hydrate bot. I do. I do believe in fairies. I do. I do. Fucking butt fuckity shit cock. Butts. Butt poop. Shit lord butt poop. Behold, I am shit lord butt poop. Champion of Uranus. God, I am just so miserable right now. I'm dreading tomorrow because I'm just like, Silas, all right, be astounding now. Dazzle them. Be the leader you were always dreamed of. Be the magical president. Be the the person who unites the world. It's all part of that fucking Gen X message that, I don't know. I feel like there was this Gen X idea where they're just like, you know, you can do whatever you want. You know, you can get good enough, and everything will come out pushing up daisies. And I'm just sitting here like, no, that does more harm than it does good. Like, there are more people in poverty than there are people writing books or making art or insert here, like considering themselves any sort of artist or someone with any real legitimate opinions. It's such an obscure fucking idea that I like to play around with. This sort of bullshittery. This sort of shamalama ding dong. Eat a fucking ping pong. Man, that'd be mean. That's like, you know, let's play the game of how many fucking ping pong balls you can fit into your mouth. It's like, yeah, it's sexual, I guess. Even though I'm not a fan of the balls, really. You know, like, the balls don't do much. As I've grown older, they've started to do a bit more for me. But, you know, my thing is useless as it is anyway, so, you know, it's not that helpful. Like, okay, you know what? I think I'm just cutting through it. It is an erogenous zone now, so, yeah. I'm just convincing myself that I was... Because there are certain epiphanies in your life where you're just like, dude, I just blew my own mind. And it is... For how much that I hate that fucking meme, it's apt, the fucking idea of it's like, where the guy is like talking, and he's like sucking his dick, which is on the top of his forehead, and he's like coming in his mouth, and he's like, yeah, he finishes his opinion, and it's like, fucking, ugh. It makes you uncomfortable because it's like, God, I hate it when people do that, and then on the other hand, I feel like I've done it too. I feel like I've done that a lot of times where I'm just like, whoa. Like fucking Bill and Ted style. I need to watch that fucking movie. That and, let's see, Wayne's World, fucking Up in Smoke 2. I think there was a Up in Smoke 2. I'm pretty sure there was. I think it was called Cheech and Chong, like straight up. And, even though, I mean, maybe it was their code names, I don't get it. I mean, I know that, like, their actual names are Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin. Can we talk about how, you know, fucking Tommy Chong is okay with like, fucking Mexican jokes? Like, just telling Mexican jokes, and it's like, you know, okay, you've worked with somebody, you know. I don't feel like that... I'm sure you've worked with a few Mexicans. I don't think that entitles you to, you know, make some Mexican jokes. That's just me. Maybe, you know, I'm one of those too sensitive millennials, you know, because that never happens. Never does a paradigm shift between two whole generations. Ever. That's not the mode of fucking society throughout the years, is it? Except for the Dark Ages, when everybody just sort of really got upset at, like, okay, like, it's really funny because, like, you don't hear about the Dark Ages primarily because it was nobody, no culture ever put any effort forth to catalog their history like the Europeans did. That's why you hear a lot more about European history and how they ruled the world and they invented this idea called capitalism, and it is brilliant, and the Jews invented communism, and that's why it doesn't work. That's fucking it's always great because ever since like Zizek just schooled Peterson, like now you can just easily argue to them. They're like, all right, are you familiar with cultural Bolshevism? And then it's like, all right, I'll link you to the same to a page about it. And then they're like, no, it's not the same thing. And I'm like, why isn't it? Because it's not perpetrated by Jews. I'm like, then who is it perpetrated by? It's the cultural Marxist. The Marxists. Okay, who are they? Like, can you give me some examples of people who of this idea, this tangent of cultural Marxists? And it's like, the most that I could get was just some like somebody sourced me to a Amazon page to buy a fucking book, a fucking, like, a libertarian book by some author that, you know, nobody's ever fucking heard of. Like, something that's so obscure, like, it's not, you can't even torrent it worth your goddamn. Oh, man. Shit, dog. I'm so uncomfortable. Why did they make the gold bat, one of the most common fucking creatures in the world, have a fucking awful fucking pose like that? You monsters. I bet you a Japanese studio made this. I'm you know what? No, I can't say that for sure anymore. This is America. Don't catch you slipping up. I liked the Bronzongs, but right. I wish I had thought of Bronzong when I made my list, but you know, this playthrough's full of the what ifs and couldas and if onlys. All of that fun, goody good bullshit. Goody good bullshit. Goody good messages. I need to text Johnny back. Back to Jack, or back, Jack, instead of back, Jack, instead of back, Jack, back, Jack. Okay, so I finished up Power Rangers Zeo. I guess it doesn't really end. I'm guessing maybe the movie is canon to the universe, in which case, and God, they tripped fucking balls, like when Billy was like fucking leaving. Like, there were so many opportunities they could have made to, like, let him go, and they just didn't take him. And instead, he just sort of, like, there's a fucking outtake where he is fucking where he just goes he's just like he's like, yeah, okay, and he seems kind of disgruntled, and I'm like wondering, did you guys just show us his fucking walk off, his fucking, you know, his last scene before, you know, he straight up left because of all the homophobic jokes people were making on set? Because, like, that was one of the reasons why he sort of faded into the background, was because the Foley guys in particular were the ones who, I guess, who were particularly homophobic. And so it's like he didn't want to be a part of that anymore, so he's like, just keep me in a closed set, and, you know, I'll just do my lines here. And they're like, fine, okay, whatever. And then, yeah, I believe he was like maybe in one more outdoor scene before that. And even then, it wouldn't surprise me if that was just a set, because it was a fairly still background. From the brightness of the lighting and from the natural, like, you know, it looked like it was naturally lit. Like me. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Bwomp. Ideology water back in black. I meant to get myself a fucking soda, but goddamn, I am dehydrated all the time. And soda's fine, you know, but there's only so much dark cola that, you know, my lungs can take now. It feels like I'm melting. I'm melting. Oh my god. Yo. This is the fucking, you know, this is a decent strain. It's a decent fucking strain. But, wow, the high it puts me in is not an entertaining high. I am sorry to everyone. And once again, I am powering through this out of my pure ideals, because everybody wants me to succeed. And you know, they just don't have the time to put in the effort. And that's why the problem is capitalism. So that they can spend more time telling me how much of a piece of shit I am with my thing. And I'm really distracted because I'm looking at a text that my mom sent me, like I want to say, let's see, 2 days back, with 3 thumbs up. What is that? What kind of fucking mutant sign language are you talking about? God. Speaking of mutants, like, I'm glad that they went from, I'm glad that Bulk and Skull stopped being policemen and went to private detectives. And, you know, they seemed a lot more lax, you know, they had a lot more personality. It's a shame I don't think we're gonna see Lieutenant Stone again for, or Detective Stone again for Turbo, as a tear rolls down my cheek. Ah, man. Like, I'm bummed out. I was talking about Samurai Pizza Cats earlier, right? Samurai fucking Pizza Cats, like, apparently is the worst thing ever, because people just sort of improvised their lines, and, you know, they were pretty much done in, I think, like 3 takes, most of them. I could be mistaken about that. I could be thinking of another series, or another show, another movie, another visual medium of sorts. Ba-ba-da-doom. Da-da-da-doom. 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 God. I feel like I am on top of shit mountain. Oh, Papa Leches. Apido Rodrigos. I hate those gringos. And it's funny, because I do. And I put on my glasses, and you hear the fucking Who in the background. Yeah! Da-da-da-da-da. It just cuts back to fucking to the fucking Price is Right show, like with the buzzer, boom 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 boom. No, it wasn't boom 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 boom. It was boom 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 boom. Pocket sand. I love Dale so much. He's the fucking worst. He's the worst because, you know, I know people. It's an exaggeration of a. It's a stereotype of the. It's an exaggerated stereotype of the sort of conspiracy libertarian who effectively is anarcho-capitalist, but is just sort of unfamiliar with how the economy and state works. Just, God, these motherfuckers were like, have you ever read a book? And I'm just like, motherfucker, have you read any of your dudes' like economic books? Like, do you read your fucking John Locke's and your fucking, like, okay, Ayn Rand, whatever, Ayn Rand is shit. And let me explain why she's shit. Is because I completely sympathize with the person I wasn't supposed to sympathize with. I didn't give two shits about anybody who was there. I remember, you know, We the Living, where it's like, where it's like the lady, they're fleeing the Soviets because, you know, they had their flags on everything. There were flags everywhere, and it was scary. That's why I'm glad I live in the U.S. of A., where we're a lot more subtle with our, you know, iconography. Oh, dearie me. Fucking... And then, let's see, what do I remember about Atlas Shrugged? Railroads. Something about railroads. Atlas Shrugged, I've got to say, despite being her most famous, probably was the most boring to me. Like, you know, I'd argue that only because it's a bit... I feel like she's able to write a self-insert a lot better than in her other books. I don't know, maybe she's just a shitty writer and, you know, she's better off, like, her drafts. She slowly gets shittier as an artist. There you go, there's a great example. Because, you know, it's contentious when an artist's fall occurs. You know, and whether or not they can effectively, quote-unquote, redeem themselves in the end. Like, of course, that's all up to interpretation. We are reaching near the end of this episode. No, I'm not following it with my eyes like a hawk. Okay, I am, but it's only because it helps me concentrate, and it helps reminding me that I'm doing a commentary, you know, so that I don't, you know, burp and fart and shit and cum on the microphone. Like, that would be a very unfortunate circumstance if I ended up doing that. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm a clown. A tragic clown. All of these monsters schmaltz by the bowlful. I forgot what the name was for a second. The fucking lyrics, not the name, but the lyrics of the song that he wrote, the song that he sang, Krusty the Crown. He probably didn't write it. He had the monkey write it. For whom that's right. His name is her name, excuse me. She identifies as a woman, and I respect that. Because it's Chimeco, and she's a bell. So for whom the bell? For whom the bell? For whom the chime chimes? For whom the chime chimes? Stay wild.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow.